Hello, welcome to Game 2 of US vs UK 2014. The US currently leads 1-0 in the best-of-9 series. Tonight, Conrad Bassett Bouchard of the US is playing me, David Webb. The game has just started, so let's join the action. I have a great rack. I have isotins, which I had every expectation of being able to play, but I think Jizz may have blocked it, which is just unimaginably annoying. It looks like it's a complete shoo-in in terms of having a playable bingo. I don't think isotins has an anagram, and I can't see anything through an I or a J or the Z. I need to be absolutely sure that there isn't a bingo here, but I think it's just isotins. J and A both take an A underneath it, but I've only got one A. Okay, so how to resolve this rack? I certainly want to place, well, play off an A and an I. So I could do that by playing tie across here. Do I put an S on the end? I think I will. 19 points. I have datings, and that plays in row J. Tays takes an H at the end. At the moment, the only place for datings is row J, so I'm hoping that will stay available. Conrad is one of the best players in the world at the moment. He's represented his country at the World Scrabble Championships, and I believe he has also recently won the US National Championship. So I'm delighted to have the opportunity of playing him tonight. I can't see anything through the floating S. If an E is available, I would have sedating or steading. Nothing goes in front of ZA or J. But row H is available for a 5-letter word beginning above the S of Tays. So hopefully that will draw Conrad away from row J. I do have the pair of tiles IT in column 8 to consider for a 9-letter play. Can't see anything through that. So at the moment I'm holding my breath, hoping that datings remains playable. And there's only one place to play that in row J, beginning at J2. Great. Well, my datings play remains available. Not so great that Conrad has bingoed. Now, has he provided anywhere additional that I need to consider? Well, no, I don't think he has, because the E of interest is in the wrong place for sedating and steading, and I don't think there's any other anagrams of that set. So the only other one to consider is row E, and I think I've got standing, and this is going to get doubled. So it's going to score, well, I'll check the score after putting this down. I think this is going to score more than the dating spot. Standing does take an S at the end. So standing 70, datings 68. So this is a better play, or a higher scoring play. I draw the Q, but I've got the I and the N to make chi or chin. And through a U I would have Guchin. I've got the A and the I, so with a T or a D I could play Cat, Cade or Cad-I. So hopefully the Q will not be staying on my rack for long. I can play QI at D4, Chi and Is, 24 points. I have a 27-point deficit at the moment. I'm looking at my rack to see if there are any other U-less Q words I haven't considered. Well, I can't see any. Now, I could play Caddy in column 9 through the D of standing. Cat plays in column 6 for not very much. Cheese plays in row K for not very much. So, where can I play Chin? $27 points for Conrad. He has provided a U, so I could play Quango or Quag, but that's not putting the Q on a premium square. So at the moment, the best I've seen is QI in this spot. I am behind, so I'd like the board to stay open, and this leaves the floaters in Butene available, even though they're not particularly great as floaters, or rather it's only obstructing the T. Now, 24 points. If I played Quag, 18 points. So this certainly scores more. The rack leave isn't great, but it is balanced. So I'm just pausing in case there's a good Q spot I haven't considered. So the other alternative was Quango in row B. Again, 18 points, and that's putting an O beneath the double letter square at A12, so that's not a great play. I think this is the best I can do. And that's not bad. No duplicate tiles. But do I have a bingo? I don't think there's a 7 with this set. The B and the U of Beauty don't look particularly promising. No, can't see anything there. So what about the S of Entrusts? No. Okay, well this is not a great rack. And there isn't a bingo, and I don't have any scoring tiles. I do have the N for putting on the end of Chi. I'm just looking at the U again. I wouldn't want to miss a bingo through that. But nothing is springing to mind. So how can I take advantage of the N hook on Chi? I'd like to place my G on the triple letter square at B6. I could play Gant, but the rack leave of DLOR isn't great. So am I missing any other floaters? I've got the IS pair in column 5. And I've got the dis prefix through that. But I can't see a play. In fact, I can't. No 8-letter word has sprung to mind, so this may not be a particularly great set. The D and the G generally lack synergy. Well, Conrad has not provided me with any good or any additional floaters. Now, I could play Drang in column 12. That gets rid of the D and the G. Actually, gland. Well, gland doesn't play. Let me just check drang. I'd rather play the L than the R. So 24 points, which isn't great. Now, what about Goldon? And Goldons, maybe I do have a bingo. Gold Urn is good, and I think Goldon is. Let me put this down and then see if there's a better spot for it. Goldons. Gosh, I have doubts about this. But I am going to play it. I think there are two spellings of this word. Well, I hold my breath to see if that stays on. If it does, I haven't got a great rack. And I've got a scoring tile in the K, and that does have some synergy with the C, and it has a little bit of synergy with the P. Well, I hope this stays on, and if it does, I'll be mightily relieved that I spotted it in time. Gopik is good, G-O-P-I-K. That's quite a nice little word. I'm not sure if there's anywhere to play it. And I'm looking in row H to see if I've got a play beginning with the U of entrusts. So a play beginning up. But I don't think I have. Now, looking in column 12, RE takes an I after it. So I could play pig. But it would be nice to get rid of the P and the K. The C and the K I don't mind, so it would be good to play pig somewhere. Just as a three-letter play from my rack. Now, RE does take a G after it as well, so in column 12 I could consider plays having two Gs, so I double G would fit the bill. 18 points. But I don't think PI double G is good, which is a shame. And AT doesn't take anything after it that I have. It takes an E and an S. I'm looking in column 8 to see if I've got a 5-letter play beginning with the A of Goldons. And I could have. But I can't see one. Through an A I have Igapo, but the A's in the wrong spot for that. I've got an 11-point lead, but Conrad's on turn. So the game is finely balanced. Just checking to see if I've got anything else which goes after RE. Well, yes I do, I have O. So, do I have anything with O ending OG? Great, Goldans stays on. And I could play Jip here, make a nice little ladder down towards the bottom. Plays off all the tiles I want to play off. Well, it would be nice to play off the O as well, but I can't do that. 22 points is quite a good score. Now, no duplicates, but the V is a bit problematic and I can't see a bingo with this rack. But I have got two good 5-letter lanes to consider, row H and column 8 for bingos beginning with a, sorry, not bingos, 5-letter plays beginning with a U or an A. And with high-scoring tiles, I would be able to score highly if I can get one of my high-scoring tiles on the double letter squares immediately after the vowels. But can I do that? Well, I could play Avine. and possibly Avion, but certainly Avine, and the O goes quite well with the C and the K, and that would be 36 points. So do I have anything beginning with the U? Don't think so. So if Avine is blocked, and I'm slightly annoyed with myself for not being clearer in my mind about Avion, I think that would be a better play, but I'm not going to risk it. So if that's blocked, I have Vint in column 6 making Chin. 27 points, that's a good score. And what about column 12? Because I do now have the N for going after RE. Well, I can't see a play using that hook, which my opponent in any event takes. But what's good is that he's left Avine available. £36 points, which is a good score, and this is a good rack leave. Even if I don't get a bingo, I should be able to score well. Now, has my opponent opened up anything for me? I don't think so. I note for future reference that 8 takes an S after it. I'm providing a really good floater in the E, but Conrad has just played off 4 tiles, so I can't put him on a bingo. And I think this is the highest scoring place for me to go, so whatever I play here, I will be providing floaters. So really it's a case of the difference between Avion and Avine. I think I'll go with the one I'm sure of. Wow, horror show. Through an A, I would have Boar Cock, which would sort the rack out. I've got a 14-point lead, which is really slender, especially if Conrad bingos now. And I note that he's just challenged Avine and loses 5 points. This is a pretty grim rack. I need to get to grips with it as soon as possible. But there aren't many places for short words. I can't see anything beginning with the U of Entrusts. And there just aren't many floating vowels. The I and the E of Avine can't be used to reach the double word square. Well, it's Conrad's go, so he may provide something. I note that I do have black in column 6 through the L of Gildans. That would use BCK, which is making inroads into this troublesome rack. It is playing off 3 out of the 5 high-scoring tiles. And it's possible that Clack is also good, but black scores the same and C is more bingo-y than B, so black is a better play. Now, is there anywhere I've overlooked on this board? Well, I guess there's column 7 parallel to butene through the A of standing. So I could play WAB. That's only playing off 2 of my high-scoring tiles. I note that the H hook for Taze is still playable. I keep coming back to Avine in case I'm missing some good play through the I. I don't think there's going to be anything good. Well, I say nothing good through the E, but I do have Bocked, B-O-C-K-E-D, which takes out a really good floater for Conrad and also plays off 5 tiles, so that's pretty good. Now, Conrad scored 25. My W can go in front of OF, but the best I can do there is walk. For 39 points. Wow, that's tempting. 39 points, keeping B double C D. $39 points. Bocked in row O. 18 points. So is the bocked rack leave 21 points better than this? Well, I don't think it is, but I'm hugely dependent here on picking up vowels. Have I overlooked anything? Now let me just consider the black score in column 6, which also obstructs the floating E of Avine. I think I prefer that. I really felt uneasy with the rack leave after walk. This obstructs all 3 floaters of Avine, and it leaves me with a vowel, so I have a playable rack here. And I'm also keeping the D and the W, which can go in front of next go. So I think this is worth the 10-point sacrifice. Certainly keeping duplicate C is detrimental by 5 points, so the moves are going to be close, and if they're close, I would rather go with the better rack leave. Great, I draw the second blank. I draw no more vowels, but by holding on to a vowel, I should be able to play my way through this. I've got Dow at A13 across, D-O-W. 28 points. I'd much rather play off the V and the W because I've got this blank. So, how can I do that? Just making sure I don't have a bingo through the E. It's not very likely with these tiles, and I can't see one. Now, is takes an O after it. I'm looking in row F. Okay, well, I could play Wad across here. This rack leave isn't too terrible. That scores 30 points, which is a good score. There is some synergy in the tiles that I have, and I am keeping a vowel. And I can't see a way of playing off the V and the W. So I'm going to go with this. And looking at the scores, I have a 37-point lead, and there are 22 tiles in the bag. I've got 2 O's, so I'm looking to play off certainly the V and the O. And I'm looking again in row F to see if I can take advantage of ISO and 2 next to it. Well, I can't see a way of playing the V in that spot, and the V needs to go. I'm looking in row H to see if I've got a 5-letter play beginning with U. Can't see one. I could play Gov at down from the G of Jip in the bottom left-hand corner. Only 14 points, but it's leaving a pretty good rack leave. I need to be sure that there's nothing through the E of Avine with this current rack. It doesn't look very bingo-y. I've got Levo and Velo as prefixes. Two S's left, and I mentioned that with a view to looking at column 13, where 8 takes an S after it. A A play from the U of N Trusts would be good, a 5-letter play, because it would provide 3 floaters, but I just don't have a way of doing that. Now I could play Volt at C5 across, making Viz 14 points, which is the same as Gov, down from the G of Jip, but it plays off the L as well. Well, the Gov spot's been taken. Good score by Conrad, 44 points. He's now got a 7-point lead. And the E of Avine has been obstructed. But I've got the Evo prefix. Yeah, I was close to velocity, but not close enough. So this is what I'm thinking of. C is a bingo-y tile. It does have synergy with the O, so this is a good 4-letter rack leave. It's not a particularly bingo-friendly board. There's only column 13 for bingos beginning with S, and row A for bingos through the B of butene in last or second last place, and then the floaters in Avine, so it's not a bingo-y board. And if I play Volt for 14, I will have just a 7-point lead. Volt is not opening the board up, which I probably want to do given that I've got a bingo-y rack. Well, my priority is to get rid of the V, and this is the only way I can see to do that. And that is a fabulous rack. Now, lots of anagrams of hectares, but I don't think any of them begin with an S. So I haven't got a play in column 13. Column 15, a play would have to begin DS. That's not going to happen. I have notches in row N, beginning with the N of Avine. Do I have anything through the B of butene? Nearly pot herbs if my C was a P. Okay, so I can't see anything there. Do I have anything beginning with the I or E of Avine? Or even beginning with the C or K of blacks, a 9-letter play? I could have a play beginning CHI, Cairo. Okay. The best play of all would be one beginning with the E of Avine, because that would be tripled. Let me run through the alphabet, having in mind having in mind an E as well on my rack. And I note that Conrad's down to just 3 minutes on his clock. Haven't seen anything yet. Still nothing. I have Theoric and Rocci as 7s. Nowhere to play those. Great! My notches spot stays available. And I've got additional floaters to consider. But I'm running through this still having in mind a play beginning with E. Still not seen anything. Still nothing. Nope, nothing beginning with EX. Okay, I have 7 minutes left. I can't see anything through the E. Notches is quite a nice play. $28 points. I'm just wondering if it would be better to look for one through the eye of Yumpy. It probably would if I could get my C or my H on the triple letter square. So I have Ricochet, but I note there's an S out there. So Ricochet doesn't place a premium tile on the triple letter square, and it sets up the S hook, so that's not great. Now, what about Rhetoric? Okay, that doesn't work with the I. And there's also the P. I think Potchers is good. Wow, that would be a big call. Potchers. Anything else beginning with P? There are 9 tiles in the bag, so when I play my bingo, I'll be leaving 2 in the bag. I think Potchers is good, but I may be confusing it. Let me imagine a P on my rack, and the P could be in first or second place. 5 minutes left. Haven't seen anything with the P yet. Still nothing. Well, that is the Potchers rack, if it exists. Okay, I think I'm going to go with Notchers because I'm sure of it, and I don't think it is hugely dangerous. Famous last words. It's not particularly dangerous for plays in row O. It is allowing my opponent to play something on the double letter square. Two above the S, so he could place his X there. But I think this is going to give me a 30 or 40 point lead. And that's pretty good. I don't have a bingo, but it's a nice balanced rack, and I've got the H for score. The X is out there, so Conrad may have something down column 15. I've got a 49 point lead. And my H can play at O15 underneath the S of Notchers for a play in row O. Conrad's got just 2 minutes left on his clock. I need to consider the E and I of umpies in case I've got a bingo. The E is more likely, but I can't see one there. I have 4 minutes left on my clock. I could play Chin in row M. But it'll be interesting to see after Conrad plays how many points I need to win. I'm looking around to see if there's any other good X spots apart from L15. There's nothing amazing. I don't think there's an easy 50-point play for him. And I have drawn the last S, although I'm not sure I'll be able to use it. My H can go underneath the C of Notchers as well as the S, so I could play Hin. Great. So Conrad has emptied the bag. I can see what he's got. He's got 5 vowels and the X. I have got a 24-point lead. I can play Huss or Huso. I can play Huso here. That's 30 points. That's 420. 54-point lead. Now, the smart thing to do would be to go out in 2, and I don't think I'm going to do that. Well, I have inners, so I do have an out in column 15. Inners. But I don't think I have a second out. So I've got 3.5 minutes left. I've got Huso in the bag. Do I have something better? YE takes an H after it, but I've got nothing to go after OR apart from my S. And in fact, I can't play in row O because I've got nothing which goes after US. So if I play Huso, I'm threatening to go out with inners. So that needs blocking, and that could be blocked by Ox and X. So what do I do if that happens? Well, I've got Ront in column 6 for about 20 points, so I think I am going to win. But it would be nice to go out with a slick out in 2. Maybe I've got something in row L going above U. Something O-N. I've got Hons in that spot. So Huso for 30. Let's see what Hons looks like. $28, only 2 points less. And I've now got Rhine in column 15. Do I have a second out? Well, Trin in row J, but they could both be blocked. And I've still got Ront in column 6 for some sort of score. So I think this is slightly better. Yeah, and Trin would stop Ox. So I think I will go with this. Conrad has now got less than 1 minute to play. I've got Rain and Rhine in column 15. I've got Trin in row J. It's possible that they will both be blocked. If they are, it's not an out, but I have got Ront in column 6 for 18 points. And Conrad is only going to have one good scoring opportunity with his X. So he's either got one good score or no good scores. He hasn't got 2 good scores, which is what he'd really need to catch me. I'm looking around. Oxo 26, great. That means that I can go out. So I can play in row at our A3, 5 points. Let me put this down. And even better, I've got in orb for 8 points. Is there anything better? So I've got INR. No, I think that's it. So in orb will win. Just wait for Conrad to formally end the game. And the final score, 392 to Conrad, 434 for me, a winning margin of 42 points, and the series is currently tied at 1 game apiece. Let's see what we missed. Okay, well, Conrad already thinks he's spotted an error. Let's see if we can see what that is when we come to it. So this was Conrad's opening rack, and yeah, Jizz looks best. This was my opening rack. I had Isotins. I couldn't see where to play it. It didn't play. I'm not sure I like any of the suggestions there because this is so bingo-y. I'd like to keep more than 3 tiles. Well, in fact, I did keep 3 tiles, so Taze is one of the ones in the pack there. This is where Entrusts was played, and that looks best. This is where it took me... No, it didn't take me a terribly long time, but I played standing and the alternative was datings. Horrible rack for Conrad, and butene looks best. Now, what was best with my cue? I played chi at d4, and that looks best. This was Conrad's rack, and he played ferry e at b10, so great spot by Conrad. And this is where, to my shame, it took me forever to spot gold arms. So I'm glad that I haven't got that hanging over me. Sorry, missing that hanging over me. Oh, okay. He's gone quickly. Now, this was Conrad's rack, and he played Luma, top choice, so good play. And at this point, I was in a grim position. I was 13 points behind, and this is just a horrible looking rack. It just doesn't look like the sort of rack that can be sorted out in one go. Now, I played Jip. Kip was playable in the same spot for 4 more points. Sorry, for 6 more points. But I much prefer keeping the K because of the CK synergy and because Kip allows an S hook in column 1, which you'll note Conrad does in fact have. Now this is where Conrad played Watch. That looks pretty good. And this was my rack. Avion was good, so I think that would have been slightly better than Avine, but the O does have synergy with the C and the K, so there's going to be very little between those plays. Not sure what Conrad did here. He played OF. Well, that's one of the choices there. Tricky rack. He had a lot of vowels, and I had very few. And this is where I was torn between Wok and Black. I took a 10-point sacrifice because I liked the rack leave of CDOW a lot compared with BCCD. And I know that Clack was also good. This looks fairly bingo-y, but there wasn't anything. So, Conrad plays AE for 16. Okay, so he's taking a 19-point sacrifice, but look at his rack leave. AELRS is really bingo-y, so I think that's the right play. My rack had improved a little, but not a lot. And yeah, I played Ward, and I still like that. This is where Conrad played layers. That looks best. Now, here, C5 Volt. Yep, that was my play. I'm surprised there aren't higher scoring alternatives available. I didn't think this was a particularly great play. Anyway, it's fine. Umpy, H11, good spot by Conrad. Now, I'm sure there was something better than Notches. Yeah, Potchers was good, and I think that probably was the play. Just placing an S in row O isn't particularly dangerous. It scores more points. But I don't think there's a huge amount between these plays. A lot of vowels left in the bag at this point, or from my perspective, a lot of vowels unseen. Now, what could Conrad have done here? He played U for 25. Okay, well, I guess the higher placed options shown are ignoring the triple word square in the bottom right, and I think Conrad's identified that as a danger and is attempting to restrict my access to it. And in any event, U does score 25 points. So what did I have here? Right, well, I could have got 30 points for Hins, beginning with my H underneath the C of Notches. That would have been pretty good. But actually all of those plays, including my own play, look fairly similar. Exo and Oxo, yeah, one of those was Conrad's play. And finally, In Orb was best for 8. So, very exciting game, quite close, and I ended up winning it by a small margin, but all victories are satisfying. and it's particularly good in the context of a tournament where the US had taken a 1-0 lead. The whitewash is no longer available. Fantastic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's game. Tomorrow night we have Conrad against David Eldar, so I hope you can either watch this live at the ISC or subsequently on the Dweebovision channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.